Welcome to Big and Mama's BS Kitchen. How is everybody today? We just got through having our very first cook on our new Blackstone griddle, and we're gonna roll all that footage for you in kind of hyper speed. We are new to the Blackstone world completely, and my little big is growing up on me. So we're gonna spend some quality time cooking and eating because look at us, we love to eat. That way whenever he has to grow up and leave me, he'll know how to fend for himself. Okay, so welcome to Big and Mama's BS Kitchen, where we do things our way. So if you watch something and you don't like the way we do it, guess what? You don't have to do it that way. Do it your way. But if you like the way we do it, try it, see if you like it. And we'll go from there. If you all have any tips or tricks, leave them for us. Put them down in the comments. If you like it, give us a thumbs up. If you do not like it, give us a thumbs down. We understand. Share, subscribe, ring that bell, and you'll get notifications whenever we post new content. We can't wait to get started. Whoop whoop, here we go. Okay, so the very first thing that we did was heat up the griddle. We let that heat up for about 15 minutes before we started. Then we turned our air fryer, sorry, couldn't think of that. Turn the air fryer on and let that heat up as well. Then we ended up leaving the first two dials on the left on about medium-low, the third one on low, and the last one completely off because we were just going to use that area as a warming station. What I'm doing right now is putting the canned biscuits into the air fryer. I had that set on about medium temperature. And then we put those in. And then that's at the point that I basically set it and forgot it completely. So next thing we did, Levi threw down some avocado oil for me just because he wanted to be the oil boy. And then we got the bacon on. So that's what we're doing right there. We're just throwing down the bacon. Once we got all of the bacon on, we just let that start cooking. And then we just basically did one thing at a time from there. It did take me a minute to get all the bacon on, and at this point is where I realized some of it was starting to stick. For whatever reason that may have been, just because it was the first time cook. Maybe certain areas wasn't hot enough. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, that's at the point that I should have just left it alone because it knows what it's doing. It'll tell you when it's ready to turn. See, right there is my hot zone. So those were ready to turn pretty quickly. And then these others, it took them a bit longer. As the bacon started to get done, I just moved it over to the little warming rack and let that kind of just stay warm there and let some of that grease drain out. Next time I will put a paper towel underneath that because I needed to absorb it or have it absorb some more oil than what that I let it. Now, what you're watching right now is this bacon that was sticking up in the front, and it is in the area that is basically cooler than my hot spot. And this, like I said, is the first time that I cooked on this, so I was kind of panicking at this point just because this was my first time cooking anything on the Blackstone, and when anything sticks, it just freaks me out. This was at the point that I thought, oh, have I bit off more than I can chew? But if you watch, it scraped up pretty easily, and then I was able to move it to the warmer area. We'll see if this resolves itself. I'm assuming the more you cook on it like cast iron, it just gets better with time, and I'm sure that this will be the same in the future. So this was definitely a learning experience. Okay, so I've got all the bacon off at this point, and I kind of got off some of the chunks of bacon that was a little bit on the too done side to eat. Big wanted to help right there, as you can see, so he had to take his time and put that on there. Next, we're moving on to sausage. Side note, I am just cooking for me and Big here in this, and I do have a little wash station off to the side that you don't see. So we're washing up. So if you're cooking for multiple people, definitely wear gloves or have a way to wash your hands and wash utensils. At this point is where I looked at the biscuits and thought, whoa, those are well done. Okay. So I needed to bring out a little table to give myself some more space. And I also am not sure why I didn't just put those in the warming box that is located right down near the air fryer. But yeah, I didn't. So what you're seeing now is me smashing the sausage patties. I didn't smash them down completely like you would smash burgers, or at least that thin. A lot of people use parchment paper to keep this from sticking to the little smashy thing. Yes, that's a technical term. But I did not, but it was no problem just to use that spatula to just scrape those right off. They came right off, no big deal. So at this point, we have the bacon done, the biscuits done, and we have the sausage on the griddle. Now at this point, Big over here is doing something I didn't know he was doing. He was having a good old time with them tongs in front of the camera. So I put him to work. He flipped the sausage for me there. And as you can see, it crisped up really nice on that side. So we are ready to move on to the next side. Get that all nice and crispy. We're a crispy family. We love crispy bacon and we love the crispy sausage that is well done, of course. So yeah, we're letting that finish crisp up there. Okay, now it is time for Big's favorite thing, eggs. And we got these nifty little egg shaper holder things. Yes, that's a technical term. To go with all of our Blackstone accessories. And these are super awesome because they keep the eggs from running away from you. We're letting Big hit those with a little bit of salt and pepper as I crack those in and try my best not to make a horrible mess. So we let those stay in those little molds for, I don't know, maybe a minute, maybe not that long, just enough till they were ready to hold their own shape. And then we just let those start frying up. These were kind of sunny side up eggs, but mostly just fried and a little bit liquidy. I don't know what you would call that, but I call that good. So that's what we had. So the sausage was done, so we went ahead and got that off of the griddle out of the way, and then we'll finish up those last couple of eggs here in just a second. Okay, now that we got those last 2 eggs on, I started pulling off the ones that were already done. Like I said, those were basically fried eggs, but they had a little bit of runny in them. But that's kind of how I like it. Now, Big, he loves scrambled eggs. He also loves burnt eggs. He wants his eggs to be brown. I am not a fan of that, but that is what he likes, so go him. That's what he eats. So those last few, I did go ahead and put them in the mold just to kind of hold them in place because I didn't know how far they would run. They probably wouldn't have went too far because the griddle actually seems to be pretty level right where we have it sitting. But I went ahead and used those just in case. So we finished up all the just regular fried partial sunny side up eggs, and we're fixing big scrambled eggs, making sure to get those really done. No runny ooey goo parts, which of course does not take long on the griddle. All of that just cooks up real quick. We're going to do a new segment right now. This is called What We Learned.
Yeah.
We'll come up with a catchier name.
Yeah.
What We Learned. Okay?
I think we should stick with that.
What We Learned? Okay, this is the What We Learned segment. First.
Whale segment.
The what?
Whale segment.
The whale. Oh, that's perfect. The whale segment. Well, okay, here we go. So, Big, tell us the very first thing that you learned today. Slide into the frame, please, sir.
You're going to need more than what you think you're going to need.
Meaning?
If you think you're going to need aluminum foil to bring to cover something, you're probably going to need it.
If you don't think about it, you're going to need it. Yes. We learned several things today. We learned that we needed aluminum foil and we didn't bring it out. So good thing there's two of us. Have extra hands. That's one thing that we learned. Have extra hands.
Have a helper.
Have a helper. Perfect. What's something else we learned? Don't panic. Set a timer. I almost burnt the biscuits in the air fryer just because I forgot about them. I got busy doing other things. So slow and steady. If you are new to griddling, do one thing at a time if you have to. Don't multitask if you're not ready to multitask. Because I got a little overwhelmed myself and almost burnt the biscuits. But everything else turned out pretty good. I think. It was edible. It was all good. Nothing was burnt. The biscuits almost got there. But yeah, it was a pretty successful cook, I believe. Anything else you learned?
The oil will splatter. Don't panic about that.
Oil splatters, yes. He learned that. Very good. Very good, son. Do we stand with oil can splatter? Not if we can help it.
She panicked and told me not to put any more, so the bacon stuck.
No, the bacon stuck because the griddle was hot enough, but I was just too hasty, basically. You'll see, part of it stuck, but it was just because I wanted it to cook faster than what it was, so I wanted to move it. And if you didn't know this, even when you're grilling, put on the meat and you leave it until it releases itself. It'll tell you when it's done and ready to turn. I just was impatient. So part of my bacon stuck. It didn't really stick. It was just me not leaving it alone long enough. But again, nothing burnt. It wasn't really stuck. It was just me being impatient.
It only stuck where the oil wasn't.
That was just because, the hot zone was where it did not stick at all. So the griddle had heated up. We heated it up probably about 15 minutes. But this was our very first cook on it too, so that may have played a role in it. But yeah, anything else in the whale section? Probably not. That's all we learned. There's probably more.